It facilitates to transform great leaders into visionary leaders to use of various tools, techniques, skill sets that impact behavioral mindset change. Our key objective is to see the unseen opportunities and deal with them to create excellence. Hence, we understand that at this juncture, when the world is going through this, these difficult times and crises like COVID, the learning for VLFM becomes more useful and meaningful than ever before. As a community, we need to explore the great possibilities that VLFM offers and see how it can help Indian manufacturing to propel in the direction of leadership and excellence. So in that direction, we have created this Prerna Manch online platform and to empower the VLFM community members and to provide them an opportunity to interact, share, and create regularly and seamlessly. So we will do this. We will do all these kind of gatherings in this particular platform in a regular basis. So I would like to rephrase the goal of this platform with 4 C's. These are connect, communicate, collaborate, and create. These are simple words in itself, but it has a profound impact when it is joined together. The VLFM core team will work with all the community members, and you are all the community members who are present today in this platform to make this Prerna Manch a powerful engagement tool over the course of time. The platform is dedicated solely to this community. So we intend to organize one Prerna Manch program each month to engage members and share various new thoughts, ideas, concepts, case studies, collaboration opportunities, and best practices. So alternately, we will see like what kind of content we can bring for you. The theme for this edition, uncovering opportunities in uncertain times, a visionary leader's perspective. It is in this we will try to understand the hidden opportunities lying ahead of us because we are trying to coming out from a lockdown period and how a visionary leader will approach and leverage these opportunities. I truly believe that you all will find it useful and informative. I thank you all. Okay, Sailesh, back to you.
Let me now just invite Mr. Kiran Deshmukh sir to give his special address and start the session. And sir, as everybody knows that the idea of this session is to really know what a visionary leader needs to do in these troubled times. In fact, as you can see and as it has been our philosophy that a visionary leader should see the unseen. He should uncover the hidden possibilities. He should identify the course of action with these opportunities and finally with VLFM skills act in the right directions. So with these thoughts, sir, I would like to request Mr. Kiran Deshmukh. Mr. Kiran Deshmukh has been our guide, our mentor, our guru, and he doesn't need any introduction. In fact, in the VLFM community, we all know about a great deal about him. He has been a kind support to the VLFM community. And so, sir, I would now request you to please take over the dais. Please take over the session and address us, sir.
Let me begin by first hoping that each one of you is doing fine, is safe and healthy. Humanity is going through one of its toughest times. The entire world is confused and in the dark about its near-term future. Healthcare workers, doctors, police, sanitary workers, and others are fighting the war against an invisible enemy. Like today, I think close to 6 million people have been affected. More than 350,000 have lost their lives. And the worst thing is nobody knows when this will all end. Of course, this will end and humankind will conquer the enemy. So the world that would emerge after this crisis would be entirely a different one. Our healthcare system, economy, politics, and culture will undergo unprecedented transformation with several long-term consequences. Those of us who can see the hidden and the unknown behind this thick, invisible wall will be able to not only face the future successfully, but also open up new unborn opportunities. Fortunately, the VLFM community has been equipped with several powerful tools developed by our guru, Professor Soji Shiba, that can help you unveil the myriad of changes that are waiting to be converted into a bright future for the society. Therefore, friends, it is time to open your toolbox and apply what you have learned from our guru, other visionary leaders that you have interacted with, and your colleagues. Look around. Observe what is going on. Jump into the fishbowl. Explore. One change that can be easily seen coming is the way we will work. Working from home, communicating at a distance, and maintaining a physical distance are likely to become standard practices throughout the world. This platform, the Prerna Manch, is a testimony to this. Many of you have joined in this unique online platform, all remotely using the technology at our disposal. In recent years, many universities have started online courses on an experimental basis, which is poised to change. Experiments are about to become mainstream. Schools and colleges and universities are likely to go full on online, with campuses shrinking to house only the minimal infrastructure. Offices will become small, with the majority of employees encouraged to stay at and work from their homes. Even manufacturing plants will transform with an accelerated proliferation of automation and digitalization. What does all this mean to each one of us from the VLFM community? Let's think about it. One thing that will undergo a bold and aggressive change will be, I believe, the legendary fishbowl. We have been using the fishbowl for swimming with the people inside it, observing them, their behavior, their surroundings. We have been using it to experience people's world while swimming with them. But then when people's behavior itself morphs into either to unknown and unprecedented ways, what will happen to the fishbowl? Like most other things that we see today, it is quite clear to me that the proverbial fishbowl that we love so much will very soon turn virtual. We have known the physical fishbowl, the marketplace, the railway station, the school classroom, the game bar. With the people you want to observe shun these physical environments, the definition of the fishbowl in which they swim must change. What will it be? How will you swim in such a virtual fishbowl? How will you observe what's going on inside a virtual setting? I think these are the questions to be asked by the VLFM community. Surprisingly, answers to these difficult questions will be different for different people. No answer would be wrong. Every answer will be correct. However, those of us who recognize the inherent differences between what used to be and what is going to be and formulate the strategy based on this thinking will be the winners in this new global order. Friends, this pandemic is a once in a century event. Professor Shiba is very often, his favorite sentence is once in a lifetime. We are no more talking about lifetime, we are talking about century, maybe a couple of centuries. So when such epoch-defining events occur, the changes that accompany are not of the order of 10x. They're not even of the order of 100x or 1000x. They happen at an exponential rate. VLFM has endeavored to develop a mindset among its community that can understand and face the changes that occur at an order of few multiples. This mindset now needs to transform. You have to learn how to confront the changes that's going to happen in the order of e raised to x. For more than a decade, we have been guarding our unchanging elements with an unflinching commitment towards them. Maybe it is time to scrutinize them, revisit them, and revise them if found necessary in this new world. Some of you may question how an unchanging element even come up for a review for a potential change, because by definition, unchanging element is unchanging forever. However, These are unprecedented times. These are times which have never been experienced in the past. We don't know what's happening around us. And in the situation where everything is uncertain, definition of uncertainty itself has changed. We are all used to the theory of probability. We all know, most of us are engineers. And when we talk about probability, and if the probability is very low, like 0.001, we say that there's something that's not going to happen. But when we are talking about events which are once in a century or once in 2 centuries, and we happen to be around that event, when that event is happening, the probability of 0.001 becomes probability of 1. And the uncertainty that is surrounding such events is such high that it's impossible for anybody to predict what's going to happen. The tools that we have, the learning that we have, the experience that we have from our friends, from our colleagues, and of course, what we have learned from Professor, is what we need to put together and stretch it to a limit so that we are able to see and uncover the invisible behind this invisible wall, as I say. So friends, as I said before, unprecedented times need unprecedented approaches to our thinking and our actions. Question is, are we ready to think differently? Are we prepared to examine in detail our core principles in these turbulent times? I leave you all with this rebellious thought. Thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you for your inspiring speech. And it is one thing I have always learned while interacting with you, that every time we try to communicate with, there is a new dimension opening up. And you have put it so beautifully and so deeply in front of us that the push ball itself is about to change. And with these thoughts, I think so that we really need to introspect first of all, and then see what as a visionary leader, what as a practitioner of breakthrough thinking, we need to really think in this direction also. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your inspiring speech, and we definitely think that this will go a long way with the people of the PLFM community, and it will inspire many leaders to think and act in a different direction. So with this, sir, thank you. And now I will like to call upon our next special speaker. And our next speaker is Mr. Ida and Mr. Manabu Ida. He has been with us for almost past few years as a chief advisor of BLFM. He has been given this responsibility from JICA. Mr. Ida has been an electrical engineer from the Saga University. He has done a graduation in electrical engineering. Thereafter, he has also done post-graduation in electrical engineering. And he has a wide range of experience, both industry, international, national level. So he brings with him a lot of knowledge, a lot of deep insights, a lot of thinking into this BLFM program. And we are very blessed, in fact, we are privileged to have you here, Ida-san. And with this, I would really request you to please start your presentation. Please share your thoughts and your views with the BLFM community. Over to you, Ida-san.
Okay, thank you very much for making the introduction from me. And also, I'd like to thank to all to give me the good, excellent opportunity to share my knowledge today. Today, I'd like to have the presentation on the Society 5.0 briefly within a limited time. I understand that all of you are aware of the Industry 4.0. It is a concept initiated by German government. However, today I'd like to introduce to you the Society 5.0. Society 5.0 is a concept proposed in Japan and resembles to Industry 4.0. But The Society 5.0 has a broader and wide concept in scope, more than Industry 4.0. Japanese government intend to realize Society 5.0 that solves various social issues ahead of the world by incorporating the technological innovation of the Industry 4.0 into all industries and social life. What is the Society 5.0? The Society 5.0 was proposed in the 5th Science and Technology Basic Plan in Japan as the future society that Japan should proceed to. It follows the hunting society, that is the Society 1.0, the 2.0 agricultural society, in the third society is industrial society. And the fourth society is information society. Well, so Society 5.0 is a new society for the Society 1.0 to 4.0. Through the social innovation, we would like to build the society with hope. Society that respects each other for generations, and society everyone can comfortably play an active role in the society. That is our target of the Society 5.0. Society 5.0 would create a new life system with a key technology like such artificial intelligence, robotics, blockchain, and automobiles. Every new cutting technology supports the Society 5.0. Creates new society. Society 5.0 advances the economic advancement and the resolution of the social problems. In the current social system, it is becoming difficult to achieve both economic advancement and the resolution of the social problems. However, the balancing the both economic advancement and the resolution of the social issues is targeted in Society 5.0. The economic advancement solution to the social problem in the Society 5.0, the Japan intended to tackle a lot of the issues and to show the model of the future society to the world. So Japanese government, the Japanese people wants to become the first model to show it to the world. And I'd like to show some example of the new value of the in each field. So of course, we have a lot of the examples, but today I'd like to show the four fields of the models. The first one, the mobility. In Society 5.0, by analyzing the big data, including the various information such as the information from automobile, real-time information such as the weather, traffic, accommodation, eating and drinking, or the historical history data, etc. With artificial intelligence, various chains could be created. This is the case of the mobility movement support. You can see the bottom line, in the smooth transfer and the reduction of the congestion and the traffic accident, and the optimal plan should be created, will be realized in this field. Next example is in the field of the healthcare and the caregiving. You can see some problems in this area as well. However, we should collect many data such as medical site, environment data, medical data, real-time philosophical data, something to analyze that all of the data should be analyzed by artificial intelligence. So the comfortable living, health promotion, optimal treatment, and the reduction of the burden will be realized in this field. The third example is this, the manufacturers like you. So of course, you have a lot of problems in this field, difficulty of the prompt facility investment, excess stocks, securing manpower, and responding to disaster, something like that. So we have to collect many information like demand, stock data, the delivery data. So we should analyze by the artificial intelligence to create a demand forecast and a product proposal, something like that. So we have to connect all of the functions like supplier, factory, logistics, and client. So we'd like to realize the strengthen the competitiveness of the responding to disasters, responding to the diverse needs, and greenhouse gas GHG reduction, solving the labor shortage, and also improve the customer satisfaction in this field. And the last example is in the field of energy. Of course, in this field, some problems are there: energy shortage, responding to demand, CO2 emissions, the supply stock disasters. So we would like to create a new society in this field, local production, interregional accommodation, accurate demand forecast, various energy load as well. So Society 5.0 will bring about human-centered society. So Japanese government aims to become the #1 first country in the world to achieve the human-centered society. That is the most important point. Human-centered society. That is Society 5.0. In this society, anyone can enjoy the high quality of life. It intended to accomplish this by incorporating advanced technology in diverse industries and social activities and fostering innovation to create new value. Of course, we have to take care of some problems of the Society 5.0. First one is the worker job post. So we are wondering about all of the technologies takes the job post of the workers. So we have to take care of that matter. The introduction of the IoT, artificial intelligence, and robotics may deprive the existing workers of their jobs. So we have to support some points in this field. In the damage of the existing industries. So, of course, some of the industry would be damaged by the Society 5.0. However, we have to create a new industries. It's aligned to the Society 5.0. And we have a lot of problem in, especially elder person, like digital divide, something like that. So we have to take care. The people have to adapt the new society. That's the point of the Society 5.0, I think. And summarizing, I'd like to say that I believe our project, CSM project, champions of the societal manufacturing, the aim, of course, the societal manufacturing. So, as I have explained today, the Society 5.0 is focusing on the society more than Industry 4.0. So the reason why I have shown this Society 5.0 today is I'd like to request you the VLFM community should follow the Society 5.0 from now compared to Industry 4.0. So the JICA and the CII and any other related organizations will support our assistance in the system estimate project in from now on. So we have to find out the new pillar of the support assistance to the project. So I believe the Society 5.0 will be the one pillar of the next corporation, I think. Thank you very much giving me that time.
So thank you so much, Ida-san. And it's really a novel thought, a new idea of Society 5.0, that how the society will transform in this new digital world. Industry 4.0 we all have experienced, but it is really a new idea, and definitely if Japan is moving in that direction, and we being associated with the CSM project being associated with with JICA and with the Japanese, we definitely would like to learn a lot about the Society 5.0 concept. It's a new concept, and definitely we will be eager to learn more about it. So at this point, Ida-san, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your views, and sharing this novel concept of Society 5.0 with us. Uh, with this, I would like to call upon our next special guest, Mr. Dr. Devarajan, Dr. S. Devarajan from TVS Motor Company. We are really very privileged to have him here with us today. What I can say that he has been one of the greatest proponent of the VLFM, greatest supporter of the VLFM ever since the start, and he has been as a kind of a guiding figure who has been driving the VLFM visionary leaders in his organization TVS, and also in a number of other organizations in and around that area.
Thank you. From TVS Motor, I belong to TVS Group. We started in 1911, 100 years back, going to different areas of manufacturing. Our core area is how to meet the requirement of the customer, which is mobility. Mobility and mobile are the heart of everyone today. And it's important that we understand that we are in this community in which mobility is the basic requirements. First of all, I thank VLFM team for giving me an opportunity to share, and I hope you and your family are keeping fine, safe distancing, personal hygiene. So in TVS Motor, definitely these are the history in which we got Deming Award, Quality Awards, TPM, and all depends and all belongs to the team which we have. And entire thing which we belong is the teamwork in the entire area of operators, engineers, managers, and we are guided very well by the VLFM, Shoji Shiba, and many Jusei institutes and Japanese institutes. Our main last year has been good. Last year has been good. Last year has been better except for the last 2 months. We are also expanding in the geography area. Main thing is we have got touch points in terms of the dealers and many of the customers who are like you using our vehicles, and we thank you very much for that. And portfolio, we started with mopeds, which is a very important part of everyone's life today, in the rural, in the urban, and this moped has been like a LCV. They are able to take vehicles, they're able to take the goods produced, and also helps in their self-sustenance of the entire community. And also scooters, in terms of the women area, we were the first to introduce scooters, and that's become like Scooty is becoming a word name, even though our competition has got the similar vehicles. And motorcycles, we started with Suzuki, now we are on our own, and we are tying up with BMW for supporting BMW vehicles around the world. And three-wheelers, of course, it's an important part which are trying to bring four-wheeler concept into three-wheeler. And the sales is growing, but there is a huge amount of pressure in the last 3 months for COVID. I'll try to go forward into the area. And we starting COVID action. I'll talk about COVID actions and what is the next I'm a basically mechanical engineer to the shop floor, so I'll go back into the actions. We started talking about caring for society, caring for people, and continuity. Caring for society is the first major on TVS. So with the Srinivasan Service Trust, we started talking about how to support the medical people in terms of the food, face mask, servicing of the vehicles of the policemen, the doctors, how can we service at their home so that their mobility is not affected. We started building some of the sanitizing equipments ourselves and distributing for various villages. SST supports something like 5,000 villages and different areas. We're trying to sanitize those areas and also work along with the government. The first step was the caring for society as soon as before the COVID action started. Next is our own people. We had all the database of our people, and everyone is connected today. Everyone, every engineer, every operator, we have the database, connector, communication, training, and we use IT in a heavy way because we can have even talking about congratulating different people at different levels. A lot of movement happened in terms of the people interaction and support. Of course, work has to continue. I know it's going to be a very tough time when there's no revenue, but we are trying to work from home, creating all the facilities, giving the PCs to their engineers to take home, and Teams, Zoom, and of course, factory, we're trying to maintain the equipments of the suppliers, dealer in our area. So we started actions when there is a problem. I know it's already stocked up, we are not able to move around, but with special support, special help from different areas, though it's very, very difficult, we are trying to work and make it happen. Going forward, in terms of, I'll move the next slide. Yeah. And in terms of when you have database of the people, we know when we start, cash is the king. So we try to bring in the around 11 to 12 team members, task force form in terms of social distancing, the factory, flow manufacturing, reducing to demand. Also, we have started working on the product in the virtual way, virtual design. A lot of 3D printing also was done during this time. We started making our own prototype of ventilators or reciprocating support device. A lot of help for the medical areas, the face mask, and going towards digital and using AR, VR in a dealer end and trying to simulate. So working from the product angle, people and processes, keeping the mind, the cash is the king. But now, again, we have to talk about what is the new normal going to be. We have to protect our own area, restore and rebound. That's the way for 10x or 100x growth plan, which is possible. First is protection, how to rationalize our own SKUs, how to bring demand-based production. We have started a production, but based on demand only, and trying to work towards supplier support, because supplier is a major area in which we need to support them. And of course, on the cost, control the inventory, working from the digital manufacturing. That's a major area we have taken forward. And protection of our employees. When social distancing are there, employee health, not over our area, our supplier area, a dealer area. It's extremely important that we are trying to give the first, most important is the protection of our employees and of course, and the products coming in. Then restoring in terms of how to bring upgrades, probably different colors as what we think, different support devices for the different products which you want to make. Of course, connectivity, like we brought the vehicle of NTORQ, which is connected in terms of connection of Apache also, and continuous training. We would like to rebound by bringing differentiated products. By since you have planned earlier how to make the differentiated product, work on the brand building. Because of the work during the COVID times, visibility of TVS, how to bring the brand building more, and look at the global opportunities. These are the areas in which rebound probably in another 6 to 8 months. Once we have supported good base on the protection, and restoring our stronger base also. Though we are working from home, we are trying to see how the targets are met, how we are able to support the team members to meet the targets. So there's a change, like what the earlier speaker did mention about the entire consumerism. There will be a change in the way of what they need. The first focus will be on probably survival products for them, sanity, survival products. Digital penetration definitely is increasing. All of us are in Connect now. And we feel the shared mobility, which was a big focus few months back or few years back, recreation hotels will be ahead. Of course, the good signs are the rural demand is increasing. As I speak today, I was also told that tractors sales are very good in the last 2 to 3 days. We are expecting good monsoons to come early and support us. But global recession will be there in many sectors. Of course, there will be restructuring, but there will be positive. Our way, probably, this thing is, we might be between optimistic and realistic. It may not be L shape, maybe U or V shape. We will come back into action, as we have seen in terms of SARS or in terms of Spanish flu or in terms of the oil crisis earlier. Definitely, there is an opportunity for India because Indian rural market is extremely strong. And if you're able to support the rural from some of the government points, definitely there'll be an increased demand for us. And because of social distancing, we feel two-wheeler will be a way in which everybody will be like to be having their own way, having two-wheeler with them and mobility. So some of the new normals is happening in all our lives, in terms of personal life, in the manufacturing businesses. Definitely in the last 2 months, saving habits, no eating outside, able to quickly adopt to this thing. But now we are shaken. A small microscopic virus can make a change to us. Realization how small we are. And hearing the news, being alive itself is such a beautiful thing. But definitely we are taken very, very positively, working from home. And working from home and using Teams is a plus point. We are able to listen to the people, not give direction. Listening to the people is a very, very important part in which to take decision, in which people are able to participate. I found the enthusiasm of our engineers are profound in the last 2 months. The amount of support they're trying to give, the support of anticipation, coming forward in discussion, and speedy completion of the work, I feel is a very, very important part in the personal life. In manufacturing and business, digital tools, as we have learned in VLFM also, how to use these tools smartly and how to ensure we are upskilling ourselves by knowledge and by application. We are trying to use AR/VR in terms of including the dealer end, our own factory, use of robo and for social distancing. And definitely over the period of time, the diversification and embracing the new challenges would be the requirement. We found even in Indonesia, when the requirement of products are different for three-wheeler, we are able to diversify and support them, and how to bring the added equipments for our two-wheeler and moped, and how to make moped business on two-wheel, and how to ensure it is supported, and for the rural field, for the urban, because the self-employed are increasing. One more thing is like Apple and Google collaboration in controlling technology. It will also help coming together rather than fighting. Maybe one of the areas in which it will change as we go forward. And in different area, I always like to challenge myself, because normally there's a VUCA word. Everyone says, no, market is volatile. I don't know. Customer demand are uncertain. Very, very complex world and ambiguity. I agree it is true. But let's look in a positive way. Market is volatile, but can we add value to the market? Can we add products which is helpful for the customer in the center of our requirements? We are trying to do in a limited way in terms of the NTORQ being mobility of the vehicle. It can talk to the customer. And when we started Victor, we started telling whether you're in a power mode or in the economy mode. Like that, now we are putting the mobile parameters into the vehicle. The NTORQ is the first vehicle to bring in these parameters. And even our iQube, which is EV vehicle, will be in a similar way, which are value addition. Secondly, we're talking about uncertain demands. It is absolutely true, but let us look at our own potential, what we have. Potential of our people, potential of our assets, of ourselves itself. So how to make unlocking of this potential when in uncertain times? It's very important as a VLFM leader, we should see how to unlock the potential of our people. And there are a huge amount of potential we found in the last 2 months. Personally, I found in my team in which are able to deliver and participate in many of the demands. And of course, complex nature is there, and virus is itself complex. But can we go towards customer centricity and understand these? What is requirement of customer in the future? So this is the right time in which, when you're putting things in order, how to convert complex into customer centricity is one way of looking the positive way. Of course, in terms of ambiguity, how to change our own attitude and how to focus on automation, digital, make it simple way of acting. So let's look at the world, what we are in, probably VUCA world, in virus VUCA world itself, to bring it into positive way and looking forward. But it definitely requires a change in KRI. If it is speed, can it be more speed? And how to become agile in meeting the customer demand, in meeting the customer requirement, in whatever way it is, including the funding of the customer, meeting the customer, that only creates demand. More and more demand only can make our product sell and our entire manufacturing to be more viable. So, and to make it viable, how to make it flexible. There's a change in terms of KRI or improvement in terms of KRI. In terms of KRI, definitely we should be focused, fast and flexible, which is the key word, but can we anticipate more changes? I was told in one of the meetings yesterday, there's going to be a big storm in US coming into picture in the next 3 months. So what are the anticipated changes? What are the confidence we can build our own team and liberate the thinking of people? And it should be end-to-end in terms of supply chain to manufacturing to customer. So in the same VUCA world, in terms of positive way, we have to be focused, fast and flexible in which we can deliver the results. So next practices, as we normally feel, is going to be on customer value, combination of all the systems, what we know, combination of all the systems end-to-end, and the speed of action. How quickly can be done and how quickly it can be delivered to create new opportunities. These are things according to me, my personal area in which we are creating more new opportunities for all the engineers and for all the products which we make. And definitely VLFM has been a very, very core thing for us. And each member in this meeting which we are having, all of them have been an individual contributor for in TVS Motor. And I should really thank VLFM team and Chika for really good support, and thank Shoji Shiba for this particular support and guidance for us. And being modeled for Japan trip faculty, learning convention, book publishing, and community development. We had a village Buddha for professionally learning social service. We made the Buddha Hall in our factory. Everyone are welcome to this. And how to bring noble mindset among all our graduates, and taking our own Srinivasan Trust, SST developed villages by the SST. And our chairman, Mr. Venu Srinivasan, was the VLFM chairman the last term. And we continue to really participate in all the this thing of VLFM, and we have learned VLFM in a big way. So let's also think of contributing to society more, and we feel that's the way to go forward. And as I understand, this is the area in which COVID has come, but the innovation has started. So we can feel, you can see a lot of new products coming into picture very, very quickly. And we can also see how the economy turns very, very shortly in terms of 4 to 6 months. And pray all of us are in good speed and health. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Many thank you, sir, for this remark on the what is the TVS has done so far. And I think this positive attitude is very much important at this point of uncertainty. And what you said, that innovation has only start button. So what I understand, that innovation is a journey that we have to start thinking about, and that this new mindset is required in this kind of new normal. So many thanks to you, sir. And I invite all the people to, maybe if you have any questions, any comments, or any views.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
Sir, my question is, how is TVS helping engage the workforce which really cannot work from home? The nature of work is such that they cannot work from home. How are we engaging them from TVS?
Okay. Very good point. See, what we have in terms of engineers and managers providing facilities and working from home and meeting is very easy. When it comes to the operating level, definitely we have to produce in the factory. The vehicle has to be produced in the factory. So they have to be in the factory. But again, how to maintain, or we are trying to maintain the social distancing among the operators in the plant and trying to start the manufacturing. So our operating level, we are not asking them to start work from home. We are asking them to come to factory. But during the COVID times, lot of good support came from the operating level also. When sanitizing the villages, helping the factory in terms of the identification, marking, a lot of things was done by the operating staff. They participated heavily on this. So we are trying to combine their capabilities and the requirement. Into the engineer requirement and capabilities are working from is possible. And operator, now we have started our production. We have started production up to around 25 to 30% of our capacity. So that's a combination we have made now.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Now
any other points from any other members also can be added, because a lot of VLFM members are there in manufacturing too. If there anyone has got points, they can also put into the meeting chat.
Yes,
you can share.
Yeah. Mr. Prem Gajpal, EP Gajpal.
Hi everyone. First of all, my acknowledgement to very eminent speakers, Mr. Deshmukh, Ida and Mr. Devarajan, for bringing a very holistic approach for today's need. And I don't have a question, but I just want to acknowledge the way Mr. Deshmukh talked about the fishbowl, the deep fishbowl of the current scenario. Mr. Ida brought the society 5 human-centric society, which is again need for the current time and centricity towards that, and a very practical approach for the industry by Mr. Devarajan. So thank you very much, sirs, for bringing such a brilliant idea, and it also invoked a lot of thought on all VLFM leaders. And I think that your deliberation has brought another insight was to work for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Ashish Dicky. Mr. Ashish Dicky.
Yeah. First of all, good afternoon to all, and my sincere thanks to Dr. Devarajan, Deshmukh-san, and Ida-san for putting us a light, and particularly the Ida-san's the Society 5, which has been talked about. I think these are the new concepts which would really help us for the future. Actually, I've got one basic question. I don't know whether this is the right forum to call, but I just want to ask you what is happening that in today's time, whenever we are talking for the manufacturing industry, we are always talking about the automation, that we need to develop automation, because what we are seeing that the distancing would be there and less manpower would be available. But on the other hand, we are seeing a lot of issues with respect to the migration labor. There's a labor which is being used. But the moment we get into automation, then at that time, this means we are reducing the manpower on a very high number in our plants. In that case, how are we going to strike the balance between the automation versus this labor what has been working? I hope I'm able to clear my question.
Yeah, hello sir. Yeah, Mr. Sriki sir. Whom
Yeah,
to this question refer to? Whom to this question refer
I would like to ask for Mr. Devarajan, because I know TVS is doing a lot of jobs on this scenario. Also, they are doing a lot of social work also, and a lot of things on the automation also. But how are they able to balance this?
Okay. So may I request Mr. Devarajan if it is okay to answer?
First of all, I think the very interesting question, at the same time challenging question. This in TVS Motor, we don't have many migrant workers. We don't have many migrant workers. That's first point. I'll come back to migrant point in a minute now. In terms of automation and requirement, see, automation is not for reduction of people alone. We have taken in an appropriate automation as the main key. We find automation improves our quality, automation improves our consistency of our production, not only for the reduction of the operators. We find there's a lot of participation by the operators also in automation. So that's one side of some of the areas now, because of the social distancing, there's a big challenge in the assembly areas where the social distancing has to be very, very keen. As you know, we were making vehicles 1 in 24 seconds, which is next to each other in terms of the on the assembly line. So we are trying to now see how the distancing can be maintained and still volume can be obtained. This second portion of it. So there is an improvement in quality level and improvement in terms of the consistency of it. Whereas many of our suppliers, for example, fabrication suppliers, do have people coming from north because they are good people they were skilled in that particular areas. They're a big challenge. Probably my thinking on this is there should be a combination of both automation and personal work, and we need to judge and take the decision accordingly. It's not just like, it's not only migrant workers. Maybe for bridge building may be different. For automobile field, there should be a judicious combination of automation and manual action. It's not just removing people out. It has to be judicious combination of appropriate automation. I'm not sure whether I've answered the question, but that's the way the challenge will be there to handle.
Thank you. I think it is given. Thanks. I think it is given some thought in mind. So maybe. Yeah. I think it is challenging, but we need to work in this direction. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I would like to add here. Yeah. Shailesh, if it is okay, I can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, yes, sir. Please.
I would like to address this particular question about automation. I think it's a common question, which is it's like a FAQ. Firstly, I think as VLFM community, we need to look not at the tree, but also not at the forest, but we need to have a overall picture. We need to have a big picture of the situation. If you go back to the history, there have been events when automation was coming into the society, and there were big questions as to what is going to happen to the manpower, what is going to happen to the job of people. Way back when looms became automatic, there's a huge manpower that is going to lose jobs in England. Recently, maybe not recently, maybe also now in history, when computerization came up in India, in banks, there was a huge talk about what's going to happen with the people. And as recent as few years ago, when we're talking about Industry 4.0, or we talk about robotics coming in, what's going to happen to the jobs? When we look at the overall picture, we find that every time such automations have taken place, economy has actually thrived. Nations have become more prosperous. There is never been a loss of job. There is only more jobs created through automation. What is change is the skill sets. What skill sets required without for automation and skill sets required after automation are vastly different. And those people who are able to adapt to these changes can get jobs. Now, there is a social problem about migrant labors that was talked about, people who already have old skills, they cannot upgrade, etc. I think those are problems which the society has to handle. And these are specific problems which need to be handled at specific times. But if you look as a big picture, automation has always helped the nation. It always helped the society. Friends, today we had two excellent talks. One by Mr. Ida, in which he shared the new initiative of Japanese government of Society 5.0. I think this is something very revolutionary thought, and knowing Japan and knowing the resolve of Japanese society, I'm sure that very soon Society 5.0 will be realized and we can see the benefits, and I'm sure we as Indians can also benefit from this initiative. We at VLFM are very fortunate because we have such a close connection with Japan, with JICA, with other experts. We are the ones who can actually contribute to Society 5.0 and also imbibe the principles of Society 5.0 and see how we can utilize or use this new way in India. There was one question about automation. There was one automation and Industry 4.0 and the effect of all that on society. I think as Ida-san very nicely put it up, the Society 5.0 is exactly trying to do this, to create a human-centered society. How the economic advances, technological advances, and so societal issues can be balanced so that ultimately it's the human who benefit by having comfort, by having vitality, and by having high quality of life. So thank you very much, Ida-san, for sharing this idea with us. And I'm sure that the VLFM community will be eager to work with Japan and Japanese society in whatever way, in contributing, in helping, and also learning from this initiative. The next speech by Dr. Devarajan, I think TVS has always been a benchmark for Indian industry, Indian manufacturing industry, right from early days of the TVS Group's first company which got the Deming Award, the first company in India to get Deming Award. And thereafter, we have all looked at TVS Group as the torchbearer of quality and torchbearer of excellence in manufacturing in India. And we know that the kind of work TVS has been doing, and through your presentation, we got a glimpse into what you're doing right now during this COVID pandemic crisis, how you're helping society, how you're helping your workers, how you're helping your suppliers, and how you're trying to create and support the new tomorrow with new requirements of the customers, new requirement of the society, and through your products, product innovation, to your product development, to your manufacturing processes, how you're going to support it. I think the VLFM community present here in today's session would have learned many things from you, which is quite clear from the number of questions which are there. I mean, a lot of hands are raised. Unfortunately, I think the organizers are not able to address each one of them. And I think we should all gather these questions and send them, and I'm sure that the individual speakers will be able to address those through email or some other communication. So once again, thank you very much, everyone. And I really enjoyed being part of this session. And I enjoyed listening to Ida-san and learning many things from Ida-san and Dr. Devarajan. Thank you once again.